Welcome to our last segment of the day. Thanks for staying with us. We know it's been a long one. We've got something really special coming up, but first we'd like to introduce our club president, Darren Del Conte, to say a few words.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I know it's been a long day, so I'm certainly not going to keep you guys any longer, but just want to let you know that, we're thrilled to host this event, as a membership and, following Jamie's leads over the years. Practice is important, right? Good golf is important. We've embraced that culture. We've redone our driving range over the last couple of years. We've brought it, the club to a much better level in terms of golf, and we want to go with it. And we're a golf club, and we like to produce good golfers, and we have some great teaching pros here as well that have produced some wonderful golfers over the year. And, we're just honored to host this event again this year, and we appreciate very much all you guys coming out for attending. And, it's great to have you. And I just want to do a quick shout out to our staff who's done a wonderful job the last couple of days in putting this on. It's a lot of work putting this together, and I know they do a great job, and they're getting better with it each time that you guys show up here. So, again, thank you, and just want to say thank you to Jamie and his staff as well for doing such a wonderful job and making this a really nice event. So with that, I will turn it over to Melanie.
Thank you. Michael Block is the head golf professional at Arroyo Trabuco Golf Club, where he spends his time on the lesson tee and working in the golf shop. He's a highly regarded and accomplished player and has competed in multiple PGA championships, U.S. Opens, as well as PGA Tour events. Michael earned his way into the 2023 PGA Championship, as I'm sure most of you know, at Oak Hill Country Club, where his life changed in a matter of days. He made the cut at even par and played with Justin Rose and Rory McIlroy over the weekend. On Sunday, Michael made a hole-in-one on the par 3 15th on his way to a 15th place finish. Most recently, Michael shot 63 at Valhalla, breaking the longtime course record previously held by Jose Maria Olazabal. He also won the Southern California PGA Professional Championship for the 4th time, and in doing so locked up SCPGA Player of the Year honors for the 10th time in 11 years. Jamie Mulligan is in his 25th year as CEO of Virginia Country Club. Featured regularly as one of Golf Magazine's top 100 teachers, Jamie was recognized as the 2021 PGA Teacher and Coach of the Year. A member of the SCPGA Hall of Fame, Jamie has earned numerous awards for his teaching contributions to the game, including SCPGA Teacher of the Year and SCPGA Golf Professional of the Year. Jamie coaches world number 5, Patrick Cantlay, and world number 4, Nelly Korda, and has coached numerous other PGA and LPGA Tour players, including Amy Alcott, John Cook, Fred Couples, Veronica Felibert, Paul Goidos, Bill Haas, Max Homa, Luke List, John Mallinger, Mo Martin, John Merrick, Francesco Molinari, and Peter Tomasulo. Getting to work closely with Jamie here at VCC over the last 12 years, I've seen how important it is to him to help his fellow professionals to get better at teaching golf and to be able to make a living doing so. This summit has a special place in his heart, with the creation of the inaugural event 7 years ago being an answer to his desire to make continuing education opportunities more easily accessible to golf professionals in the Western United States. Jamie and Michael are longtime friends, and we are going to have the privilege to sit in on a conversation between them about how to make the golf professional a better player over the course of the next hour. Please join us in welcoming Michael and Jamie up to the tee.
Okay, you can sit right there. Okay, everybody's got a beer? Irish Golf Pro, you drink?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I do. I do. I can't lie.
Sponsored by?
Michelob Ultra.
Okay. I like it. First of all, before we get going on this, it's been a long couple days, but 2 nice, really great days. Super diverse, great presenters. I just touched by everybody what they did across the board. Boyd and Todd flying across the country, and Derek, you and your posse were unbelievable, and that was so heartfelt. Leo, cool to hear. Leo, the only problem with you is the Swedish guy that came after you had a better Swedish accent. And then Michael, I think you already noticed, I think the world of you, as does everybody out here. And what you've done in your career has been really cool to watch. And getting to observe Michael, spend time with him. He gets to play with our guys all the time. I feel like he's part of, our stable playing golf in this area, which is really, really key and really vital. If you look at the best golf communities in the world, whether it's Scottsdale or Dallas or Jupiter or in this area now, everybody's playing golf together at a high level, and maybe they're playing for some money and they're having a game and they're trying to do it. And we did that a lot in the wintertime with you, and it's been great. We talked about this. We could have probably done anything tonight, but the segment's about how to make y'all better at the game that we all love. And we want to take what we're seeing from getting to coach a couple players that are in the top 10 in the world on their respective tours. And one of them has been the world #1, and one of them has been as high as #3. And having got to work with #1 players before, there's something that the top 10 players do in the world that separates them and makes them better. And everybody out here, like a lot of you, we've known each other our whole professional careers. I'm not sure where Alan is, but I've known Alan for 4 decades. I've known a lot of you for a long time. Am I not on? Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah, that's supposedly.
No, but we've talked about it a lot, like what you're seeing at the highest level. Unfortunately, I don't think it's done with us. And we are the suckers for 2 o'clock in the morning on the Golf Channel looking at the next latest and greatest thing. And also, you wake up and you turn your email on. This is nice little background music in the back. Yeah, I feel like I'm on the airplane.
That's
All
me
right,
over here.
everybody.
I'm singing to you over here, actually,
Yeah.
what's happening, Jamie.
Yeah. And we fall for Golf Magazine, the email, everything that goes on. Everybody's got a new idea. We've talked about this a bunch, but if you 100% don't know what you're saying to your student, whether they just are starting the game or whether they're playing for a living, probably not best to throw stuff on the wall and see if it sticks. And I've learned that the hard way, and he's learned that the hard way as well, too. We've talked about it. And if you take the top 10 players in the world on what they're doing just the thing that works, and it's every day, and you watch them do it more consistently than anybody else that's on that tour. And also, too, like, all of you and knowing you out here, I think you've probably become better teachers because you know where your lane is and you know how to stay in your lane and do the same things. And he's asked me a couple times, it could be the 12th hole at Big Canyon or the 8th hole here, like, how do I get better? And he's the best player really that we know or we get to spend time with. I don't know about you, but watching the PGA this year when the shot got holed with Rory, it's the first time that I thought golf was wrestling and it was fake. I'm like, that went in the hole. Like, it's unbelievable. I know this guy. And he holed a shot like that. And he has got better. And the golf ball doesn't have any idea how old you are or how much experience that you have with it. It only knows what you do to it. So I think we're going to try to simplify what he does tonight in like 5 different areas. And I'll let you expound on what I just said a little bit.
Jamie, thanks obviously to you and the staff and the membership for having us. Obviously, it's very nice to be at such a great club, and the culture that you've created here is unbelievable. And I think we all just learned from that, #1, and then also we learn how to teach and play a little better as well. But when it comes down to it and playing, which I've been fortunate enough to play here and Shady and a couple of different places with some of the Jamie has. Such as Mr. Cantley and List and these guys that are just gamers. And for a club professional to go out and play against the #4 person in the world multiple times, you're only going to learn and get better. And it's pretty cool when you have a 26-year-old teaching here on hole 17 on how to not catch a flyer out of this rough, and how I think it was Jordan Spieth had taught him how to hit it just a groove thinner and pick it. And something that I learned from a 26-year-old as a 46-year-old guy, you just got to, you're like, that's pretty cool. I appreciate that. And it's really cool that Pat has spent time with me and done stuff like that, and it's really helped a lot. But I think the biggest thing that everyone should learn here today is that how do you raise a family? How do you run a club? How do you teach? And then how do you play as well, right? I mean, that's what we're all here for, right? That's what we all love. I don't know how you guys just teach all day. That's impossible to me. But at the same time, I couldn't sit in my office all day either, right? So I've kind of figured out this whole perfect dynamic of putting it all together and enjoying it all and just being able to go to a golf course every day of my life. Now, you can go ahead and start it off however you want, and then I'll try to figure out how to, if we can make you guys just literally like the way I talk about it. If my clubs or my ball or the glove or my shoes, my hat, how it fits or whatever it might be, makes me 1% better, I'm going to put it in play.
So if your hat doesn't fit, you wouldn't wear one?
If I had one of those Ryder
Too
Cup
soon?
hats, if I had one of those Ryder Cup hats and it looks like this, right? If it looks like this, I feel like a dork and I can't play it. I can't, and I'm not gonna play very good, you know. And so it really honestly comes down to every aspect of your life needs to be in a good spot, and that comes from you feel like you're 15 years younger than you actually are. You feel like you're 3 inches taller than you actually are. You feel like you hit it 20 yards further than you are, and to compete against the players here in Southern California section, which is one of the best playing sections in the world, you know, you better go into those section championships thinking that that you are the best player, because if you're not, then you're not going to win.
Perfectly well stated. We're going to get this out real quickly about the hat. We sent this picture of Patrick when he was 18 years old at the Walker Cup without a hat on. Everybody in Europe yelling at him, and by, you know, it's better with Pat, and he knows Pat pretty well. It would have been better if they didn't want Pat to win, to tell Pat that he was handsome. You know, when they started being mean to him, then he just loses it for fuel. But anyhow, when they sent the picture, they said, what a foresightful young man at 18 years old and already thinking about not wearing a hat in cup competition so he could make some more money when he got older. That's not what happened. Anyway, but what he just said about the hat fitting, like at the top level, the top 10 players in the world and the best coaches in the world, and I think you heard that today from everybody that you saw, they have a way of doing something. Derek, I know you're someplace. There you are. I love what you said, the precision about Carl and watching him do that. I can remember watching you film things 25 years ago. Would that be accurate? 30 years ago, would that be accurate? And like standing exactly in the right place. And I love the way that you guys all expanded on that. So today's, the title of what we're going to do is Simplicity with Precision. And we're going to kind of go just through 5 areas of the game. And we're going to let him tell you a little bit, and then we're going to try to simplify it from there. And if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them out. And if you run out of a Michelob Ultra and you want another one, raise your hand and we'll get it for you. Okay, let's hit some balls. Brett, Cisco, you want to grab these? And we'll...
So Derek would always post up on hole 4 at the Farmers, right?
Yeah.
What was the reasoning for that, Derek?
Good camera angle, far enough away.
I mean, that was literally that was 2013 or 14 was the first time I'm like, he's by himself out there just filming every single person. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Too bad he didn't go anywhere with that, right?
3 at La Costa, too, same thing, right? Yeah. It would seem right, yeah. Starting at La Costa, a bunch at La Costa, correct?
Number 3 at Riv.
Yeah.
Down the target line.
Yeah. Let me get this out of the way.
No, whatever you need.
Okay, cool. We're going to hit some wedges. I know that. I love what Todd talked about with wedges today. Now, we're seeing 3 wedge shops for everybody. We're seeing a full wedge, we're seeing a flighted wedge, and we're seeing a kind of stock wedge in between. Todd like 15 yards. I like 18 yards. Some people like 12 yards as far as what those distances go. I like the idea for a young player when you're doing it is getting them to hit their wedge and their 9-iron and their 8-iron the same distance, and then make it longer or shorter and kind of go back and forth between those. I think that's great for you. And when you start to go play over in Europe and you realize how heavy the wind is, or when you're playing up in Monterey, you realize how important that is. Hey, everybody that's standing back there, if you want to sit too, there's plenty of room, so make yourself at home. Let's go pitching wedges, please.
Pitching
okay?
wedge, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit right over here. Hopefully I won't be in the jet stream.
What would you like?
What is your number with that club?
135.
Okay, cool. Would you hit me a 115-yard pitching wedge?
Flighted, obviously.
However you want to hit it 115 yards.
Okay.
Cool, nice. Will you hit it 5 yards farther? Very nice.
7. Sorry. I got
Hey,
a wind.
dude, you
See
already
the
had
wind?
your segment,
The wind is
okay?
caught up.
All right? Seriously. You're the only guy that went overtime, okay? Kidding.
That's
I
actually
know how
pretty close.
sensitive you are, okay?
Those are actually right next to each other.
Yeah. Would you hit it 5 yards farther?
Yes, please. Oh, 120?
Okay. Would you hit it 10 yards farther?
That was 8 yards further. I'm sorry. 10 yards further. So what are we up to right now?
I don't know.
135.
Yeah, there you go. Good.
Now, a big key, obviously, that I'm not doing right now, because I don't have my caddy with me, and it really helps if I have a caddy or anyone that reminds me of anything, because, yeah, it's definitely not that.
Can we, for 1
'Cause that's-
hour, pretend you're not in the golf business?
That's about
okay?
the
All right,
last
please.
thing. About the last thing I do is keep my
Yeah.
head down. As you can see with my action, my head definitely comes out early. It
Yeah.
always has, and I don't try to manipulate that. But the big thing for me is I need to take my time on the backswing. And so far as all I did was I was thinking too much. I was getting too quick with it. My backswing, I'm not thinking about yards. I'm not thinking about my tempo. So the two things my caddy always tells me is commit, tempo. Because as we all know, I forget about taking my time to the top like everyone else does. And I literally need to be reminded every single time I hit a shot. Every time. It's not just built in.
I love the every time portion of that, too.
So now I'm actually going to take my time to the top, which gives me way more control of distance, ball flight, and accuracy. So
Much better pace. Really
right.
nice.
So that's
different looking golf.
But why
swing.
do I need someone to remind me every time?
Very
But
good.
I do.
But that's really typical of what he just said right there. So I want you to think about this. Just in transitional pace or in pace, there's probably 3 places that you can be quick. You can be quick off the ball. I like calling it the move away. You can be quick in your transition, or you can be quick at the bottom. Normally, they're an acknowledgement to what you're trying to do or not concentrating on what you're trying to do. So I like that idea and move away there. So if we're giving him a golf lesson, which we're not going to do today, but if we're giving him a golf lesson, I'm going to say, can I see your move away really quiet and let it stay in the same pace to the top of the swing? Move away really quiet and stay in the same pace to the top of the swing.
And the way that I go about that, and if you ever watch when I'm actually hitting a shot, doesn't matter if I'm the Section Championship or the PGA, I set up over it, I get relaxed, set in here, I go back once, I almost kind of shake out every ounce of tension I have in my arms and my shoulders, I set it back, I look at the target, and as soon as my eyes get back to it, I chunk it.
We would say fat sometimes, but not PHAT.
Yeah, but that was definitely same rhythm, same everything. Take my time to the top and chunk it. Okay, we got to into the grain here, so I'll teach you guys how to hit into the grain.
Yeah.
I think this is meant for tee shots. No, what would you like, Jamie? A shot to, do you want me to hit the ball first?
No, yeah. No more bunker shots on the first tee. Yeah. There we go. Good.
I
Good.
adjusted. Ball further back. That's what I would do.
A little golf. But you have to have a feeling, you have to have a sensation to play with. And if you don't have a feeling sensation, and rhythm feels are really interesting because if you ask somebody, take your right hand and put it on your left shoulder, they could do that. If you said just feel your left shoulder, they're kind of looking at which shoulder is their shoulder to feel. But we have the ability to do that. But I've listened to his caddy talk to him, and I've watched him when he's played, and I've also watched him when he's going really nice, and it gets where he's more patient looking in what he's doing. So whatever you get into patient with, whatever you're doing with your caddy, that's key. I want to ask you a question. At the PGA, when it was that week, like I remember seeing after your first round, you played nice the first round, correct?
70, yeah.
Yeah, and it was hard the first round too, yeah.
It was brutal, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing you on the putting green. I'm like, hey, good one. And you're like, yeah, I just did my deal today. That's kind of what you think you said.
Right.
And when as the week started to go on and it felt like, well, I'm doing more and I'm doing all this stuff, like, man, your heart rate went up and you're more accelerated. Did you feel yourself get calmer, or what happened in that situation?
I mean, there was a point where my caddy's singing Dreams. Who's that?
The Lizzie version or Fleetwood
Yeah,
Mac?
I don't know. Fleetwood Mac
Okay.
on Saturday with Rosie.
Yeah,
'Cause it was-
Alan Lizzie is a singer.
because it
these
was
days.
raining. It was raining, so he's singing to me at one point to calm me down. And then on Sunday with Rory, we're walking off a certain tee box, and I've got Rory going out ahead of me with Harry as caddy about 10 yards ahead of me, and the crowd's 20 deep on both sides, and they're all chanting blocky. And I pinched my caddy, like right in the back of the arm, right here in this weak spot, and I pinched him, and I go, dude, you need to pinch me, because I was literally like, is this even really happening right now? And so it was tough to kind of put myself into that situation and go like, okay, you're still just playing golf, you're still just playing Pat, right?
Yeah.
And that's honestly what I was thinking about a lot, was just playing against these guys. I've been fortunate enough to play with, at this age, with enough studs of the world, top 10 in the world, that and practice rounds and everything else, that I've realized that it's just still golf, and it's still a pitching wedge going 135, and as long as it's not into the grain off the tee box, I might not chunk, and I'll probably hit pretty good. But it does come down to certain situations with the grass just feels great with the bounce of my wedges at that course. The greens are rolling at a perfect speed for my 1.5 degree loft putter. Just the fairways are rolling out 40 yards for a 47-year-old guy. Those things were all in my advantage that week, which was why it seemed like everything lined up for me, which was very special.
On that, great answer there. On that, does it slow down? Does it go faster? You're just going, hey, this is pretty cool, pinch me.
I was enjoying it. I was in the moment. My pairings were amazing, though. I had Hayden Buckley and Taylor Pendrith the first 2 rounds, who were 2 great guys. Rosie, on the 3rd round, it's pouring rain. I thought it was going to get delayed, never did. So I'm just like, oh, wow, okay, here we're going to get Oak Hill with no roll in the fairways and the rough soaking wet. This is going to be fun. First hole, pipe it down the middle, hit a gap wedge about 20 feet, and 3-putt. I mean, the easiest 2-putt you've ever seen. I should have made it. 3-putt it, and I'm walking off the green, going to the second tee, and Rosie literally puts his arm around me, and he looks at me, he goes, Blocky? He goes, just settle in, let's have a good day. And I'm like, dude, you're in 10th place in a major, and it's pouring rain on you right now, and you're coming over to the random Club Pro guy saying that. So please be a fan of Rosie moving forward, because that guy's amazing.
Let's switch clubs. Let's take it to 7.
Thank you.
Yeah. You did it off a tee. Do you want to go the other way?
You want me 7-iron, or what do you want?
7-iron would be great.
This is the new 7-iron.
All right. Whoa,
It goes higher and further. I'm kind of excited about this new set I got coming.
He said something interesting when we were sitting on the chair about every little detail, and I've said this to him before, but if it's 1 o'clock at 12:49, I know that Pat's putting his sunscreen on, and then it's done, and at 8 minutes to 12, then he's going to walk on the putting green and start rolling some putts, and then we're going to go calibrate, then he's going to chip, and he's going to hit some bunkers, then we're going to go hit some shots, and then we're going to walk to the first tee. We always walk to the first tee, so we get there like 3 minutes out. He doesn't like to be there 5 minutes out. And it's just timed exactly precisely. We in our business do not do a good job of that. We want to play golf with our members, or we want to go someplace and play golf, and you're running around trying to take care of your families and do your job, and then all of a sudden you run out on the first tee and you kind of go like this a couple times, and some days it's good and some days it's bad, and I know everybody's smiling because you've been through that before. So my suggestion in our business is come up with a 30-minute warm-up for you to get ready to play golf. That, number 1, gets your mind chilled, and number 2, gets your body ready to play, and number 3 is just really simple and precise, so you can go out and do that, and then do that all the time and don't change it, and we're all old enough to figure out what that key would be if you only had 30 minutes, because that's probably best for us, okay? Agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. This is regular 7-iron, first 3 par that you get to. The number doesn't matter. Why don't you come right out of your routine, and in your routine, if you wouldn't mind, just verbalize a thought or two what you're doing there.
Sure.
And let's give you a target in the middle of the shadow there, or in the middle of the sun portion of the shadow. It looks like a little Christmas tree shadow, and there's a little point out there. You see what I'm talking about?
Yep.
That's our spot, the end of that point.
Kind of left rough.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Obviously, like we talked about, my first thought is commit, right? So I'm committing to that shadow, the left edge of that shadow, etc. I've got my 7-iron, which is basically my 170 club. Now, one of the most important details that I have with those clubs, I have 14 girlfriends, guys, in my bag. Now, in my bag, I know the personality of every single girlfriend I have. All right? They all have different personalities, as you might know. So I know that the
That was
7
solid. That was really good.
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank
Thanks
you.
for
Thank
learning
you.
me something.
I bet I've used this forever. And literally every single club in my bag reacts differently with the turf interaction, the ball flight, the height, the trajectory, everything about it. How much it spins, how much it doesn't spin, every single one. And there's a reason why I rarely switch is because I know their personality, right? If you guys ever been through a divorce, it's not good. And so it's important to know what's going to happen. This 7-iron is actually my new 7-iron, which tends to go higher, straighter, and better than all my old girlfriends. That's why I've got the new ones coming in. So you'll see this one, which when I played with this twice now, and I'm trying to see if I'm going to commit to this in the PGA Tour event in 2 weeks in Cabo. But hopefully this goes pretty straight at the top of that Christmas tree. I go into it, I commit to the shot. I take 2 just relaxed Freddie Couples practice swings. I put club face to the target, feet to the club face. Nice, relaxed, just working on nothing but tempo. And then pull it slightly.
Did go high, though.
No, it's this club, it's actually the worst I ever hit with that club. But as you'll see, I'll keep on going with it.
Where's the old 7-iron?
7-iron is sitting up on my, like on a cupboard in my house right now, next to a flag and my glove and the golf ball from 15. Nah, we'll see. All right, this is kind of weird hitting to these shots, but we're okay with this. We got this. Now, something that I know we've got quite a few of the guys I compete against in the section. Nicky, Gilly, I know there's a couple other in here. They play practice rounds with me, they play with me in tournaments, and they go, how in the world does this guy beat me? Jamie, what's the most important thing in golf?
Score.
Correct. How to get in the ball in the hole. Now, as you can see, this one likes to have a slight left pull. You can see them, they're all landing, like literally hit each other.
That is the highest I've ever seen you hit it, though. You got something that goes higher?
No, I'm just going to go to the old school 8-iron here,
Okay.
just to see if the ball flight changes. Because I've actually never used that 7-iron under pressure. Now, this is pressure, obviously. The big keys that you need to start understanding is, what do you adjust under pressure? And pressure for you might be hitting in front of the beverage cart. It might be giving a lesson and getting up there and trying to show how you're going to hit that 7-iron correctly. It might be the first shot in the section championship. It might be your first PGA Tour event. Whatever it might be, what changes? Because the first couple times you do it, you're going to go, oh my gosh, why is my right hand tucking underneath so much? Wow, why am I starting to aim so far right? Why is my tempo getting so quick? Why am I getting short? Why am I getting underneath more? And why am I flipping it more? So once you figure all this stuff out, now you know what to work on when you go and practice. Because I really don't care how I play when I go play with my wife and my kids, but I do care a lot on how I go play in 2 weeks in Cabo, because if I don't play well, I'm going to get a lot of haters spreading a lot of crap on me. So I don't need that to happen. So I try to keep my hands in, club slightly outside my hands on the backswing. And as you can see, the 8-iron's a lot under pressure.
That's pretty.
And you can see why I always go back to my original 14. Because what matters to me is what is going to occur now, not when I was just on the driving range 30 minutes ago. Because I don't care what happens out there. I care what happens right now.
Want to stop with that. Warm-ups are warm-ups, and I have seen now 3 decades of tour golf, and I've seen more good rounds from bad warm-up than I have from good warm-up. I don't know what it is. So sometimes when the warm-up is great, I got one guy that when the warm-up's great, it goes great, but everybody else's expectation level gets so high before they get to the first tee. But remember what you're doing in those 30 minutes that you're going to do as a club pro. You're going to warm your body up to go play. And then the idea out there is to quiet your mind down and control your breath and control your tension and do what he said, try to get the ball in the hole as quickly as possible. Agree?
100%. Absolutely. That's all I think about. I could care less how I hit it. There's so I literally have 5 handicappers that I teach that hit it way better than I do.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I believe you, but
Maybe not under pressure, but on the driving range they do.
yeah, I don't know about that. But anyways, I hear what you're saying. But anything, I think we're trying to do that today. I know everybody here in your warm up, you're like, oh my God, I'm not hitting very good today. Well, remember, I'm telling you that I've seen people pay for their houses when they were hitting it bad in their warm up, and then they went out and they did their deal the right way.
The 2 times I broke 60 in my life, I did not hit one single chip, putt, or shot on a driving range.
Yeah, yeah.
Weird, right?
Yeah, weird. Do you have like a hybrid club that you love?
I've got a 4 and a 5 wood.
Okay. So you're gonna go down to Cabo, and so I know the place that you're playing. And
Never played there.
okay, some of the places you gotta just hit the ball in the fairway, and there's a couple holes that it could be drivable or it could be just hit it in the fairway. So give me a fairway finder with this.
I'll hit one of these to the left edge of that bunker up there.
Okay.
This is a 4 iron. Should go about 210.
Lovely. Let's give him a little hand for that. Nice swing.
But
hey, buddy, now we got the crowd with us.
Now
You hear
then,
that?
the 5 wood.
You like this club?
Yeah, this is. Yeah, when I'm usually asked what's my favorite club in the bag, this is usually it.
This your favorite girlfriend?
She's been with me for I think 6 years.
Hmm.
Yep, which is not as long as with my putter or my irons, but
That's 5.5 years longer than ever one I ever had.
exactly right. So this is a 5 wood, 230.
How'd that one go?
So good.
Yeah.
This is why it's my favorite.
Yep.
This is the Eagle Maker, or actually on the PGA Tour we call it my Birdie Maker.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a lot different, right? 17, 18 at Oak Hill were 501 and like 506.
I think that's the thing too. Don't you agree with this too? Is it's hard for everybody to sit out here and realize that every 4 par on the PGA Tour has
500
become
yards.
500 yards, and every 5 par is 600 yards, and every 3 par is like 230, 235. And you know, if you're comparing it to what you're doing out here, there it's 1,000 yards longer a lot of times out there. Then the greens are faster, and there's lions and tigers and bears and rough and all that.
I know.
Stuff.
I shoot 73 at on the South Course at Torrey Pines in February or January.
That's
and the
good.
farmers, and I get all these texts going, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" I'm like, I just played my butt off. I mean, that's as good as I can play it. I mean, Torrey Pines is just
Yeah, it's
brutal.
7,600 yards.
brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you do me a favor and hit this one off a tee? Do you hit this off a tee ever?
Slightly every once in a while.
Okay.
What would you like?
I'd like you to hit me a hold.
A hold off cut?
Yep.
Low or high?
Tweener.
How much of a cut?
4.5 yards.
It's like left side bunker.
Simple and precise. Yeah. Cut it off that bunker. Watch this, B. All right. Move in the right direction.
Well, you thought it was going to go a lot more, but then it actually kind of dropped half.
No, but then I would say that too. And remember, we're trying to get everybody so they get a little better. But you don't have to move the ball better than anybody, but you got to move the ball in the direction that you're supposed to move the ball when you're supposed to move the ball the right way. Like Derek and I walked a bunch of practice rounds when Derek decides he's going to walk, which normally I've been out there, and he joins us about the 12th hole. But when he gets there about the 12th hole, when we're watching Xander and Pat play, like, they're moving the ball on every hole the way that they want to hit it. And Xander, much like Michael described, he can look bad on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday morning, all of a sudden he can find it and he can play and do his stuff. And they work really hard, the both of them together, like they're almost teammates on, would you cut it on this hole? Would you push it down there? It's fun to watch them as partners in the cup stuff because they're figuring out what they're going to do in alternate shot and what holes that they want to take advantage of, and they work hard on it. And then when they get to Thursday and Friday, they don't talk about it till Sunday, but they're doing it together as a team. And Xander has the ability to curve the ball more than almost anybody I know. The shots that I've seen him hit from trouble to be able to curve him back on the green, he can do it better than anybody, and he's doing it really organically. And I think it's important that you do that as well, too, when you play. Like, remember, it's a square club and a round ball. And I think what we do really good as players is we take a look a lot of times and go like, this is how the shot should be played. But when we get out and play our own golf, we're trying to make a perfect golf swing and trying to load into this quadrant and separate here, and we forget how to just move the ball from side to side.
I'm definitely not thinking any of that.
Yeah. I don't even know what I just said.
And a huge key, but I would say a huge key of that, what Jamie's talking about is, and for me it's vital. Like, we're gonna go to Cabo. I've never played the Diamante course. I never played the El Cardinal, which is Tiger Woods' course there. And when we go out there, even though it might be a dogleg right, I might not feel comfortable hitting a cut with my 5-wood. I'll feel more comfortable hitting a cut with my 3-wood. So I don't like it when, like, my caddy goes, oh, just hit your 3-wood cut. I'm like, but I don't like hitting a 3-wood cut. Like, I like a draw. Like, I don't want that in my head right now, because now when I'm over there, I'm questioning the fact that I'm even hitting the shot that I naturally like to hit. You know, so I find that very important, that your team or whoever you're with, and you, if you don't have a caddy and you're going and playing a tournament, you're committed to the shot. That don't do every single time what the book tells you what to do. Do what you're comfortable with doing. Do what your club does. Do what she likes, okay? This one likes about an 8-yard cut. This one likes pretty much a 2-yard cut, and this one likes to go dead straight, all right? I know that. So why in the world am I gonna go try to hit a draw with my caddy? I swear, if he tells me to hit a draw with my driver, he knows just go away, because I'm gonna come underneath, I'm gonna block it to the right, or I'm gonna flip, duck hook it left, right? So don't even tell me that, because it's not happening. What's up, Brett?
When I caddied for you at Riv,
Yes, you did.
and you made the cut, we had an MDF, and you played unbelievable. What did you have me tell you on every tee shot? Fade.
Oh yeah,
Remember that?
baby.
Maybe I was just letting a prize pony run. I just give you a number, and I was more nervous than you. I was shaking mess carrying your bag. I just gave you the number and tilted the bag. Hit a cut, fade, and you played unbelievable.
So funny story. So Brett was my caddy in the 2013 Genesis at Riviera. It was my first PGA Tour event in my life, right?
Yep.
Paired with Patrick Reed and Robert Streb.
Great guy, Patrick.
Patrick was okay.
No, he was fine.
Robert
see what you
was
did
beautiful. Yeah, it was all
I
good.
see what
But
you did
yeah,
there.
we had a good time. And the fact that you and I stayed in that tiny little hotel room. I mean, my leg, if I like went like this, I mean, I literally went right in over his bed too. And we stayed that little circular
Edit
hotel
that
right on
out too,
Sunset.
please.
Yeah, that was fun.
On what you said there, Brett, how many people get nervous when they play golf? I see some people that aren't raising their hand, and I know some of you, and I know you get nervous. You get nervous when you play?
100%.
Yeah, you have
I get
jitters.
excited and nervous.
You have jitters the night before?
I think that I'm going to absolutely screw it up all the way until I get on the drive range.
I like it. When you imagine the first tee the night before or whatever, are you comfortable, or do you think about that, or?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that, but I mean, I am a nervous, kind of, not a nervous wreck, but the negativity that goes through my brain from round to round in between is insane, and none of you would ever believe it. This includes section championships, any tournament I go to, wherever I'm going, like going
That's
to
really honest. That's
going
cool
to-
you say that.
going to Sherwood just a couple weeks ago for a section championship. I mean, it's a hard golf course. I've never played really that great there, and I'm just going there. I'm just going, dude, come on, man. You better have your driver going. You better be hitting it straight. You better be committed. All these different things, and you're just thinking negatively. I'm taking a shower, getting ready, picking on my clothes, all this stuff, and I'm just going, oh, come on. I hope it's good. And then usually by the time I get to the range and after a couple shots, I start to settle in. And the closer I get to that first tee, and as I start to play, and the good thing about, I guess, for me, is by far and away my most comfortable spot is on the golf course in competition. That's where I'm the most comfortable. You watch me on the range, it's pretty shitty. You watch me here, it ain't great. But if you actually watch me in a tournament, and you kind of watch my grind and kind of watch how I get around a golf course, I think that's my best attribute that I have in the game, is just getting it done is what has helped me do the things I've done. Not so much my ball striking, not so much my short game or my bunker play or my putting or anything like that. It's just a super grind mentality of like, I'm gonna get that ball in the hole in as few shots as possible, and par really isn't even a factor, because like I said, my caddy and I played 17 and 18 at Oak Hills as par 5s in our heads. Because when you're thinking of a 500-yard par 5, as we all know, we're playing a 500-yard par 5. We're like, let's go. Like, we're excited about it. Like, I can't believe they did this. This is so nice of the PGA. Rather than going, it's into the wind, the rough's 8 inches deep, it doesn't fit my eye, you know, and I'm playing with Rory, who's 80 yards by me. And so, you know, when you're thinking about that, it's just not good. But once you get that mentality going and you put yourself in the right mindset, and that's, I think, the most important thing for me is at age 47, I've committed to a mindset that is best for me and not anybody else but for me.
I like it. When we were at the Ryder Cup, some little Italian kid that's a golf junkie like followed us for like 3 days, and he was wearing me out. I didn't understand about 80% of what he said, but his accent was cute. And he gave us 3 great restaurants, too, that he wrote down so they could take us there. That part's just for humor, but he asked a really good question, and he said, you've been doing this for a long, long time. What's the biggest thing that you've learned? And I think the biggest thing that I've learned is when I first started doing that, like the show-stopping players I loved. I loved to watch them swing. I loved the way they moved. I loved the way they walked. It's starting with Weiskopf and working all the way through, you know, seeing Fred really, really young and spending a bunch of time with him. And then why are the players so good now after, like, loving that portion of it? Now the players are not only good in what they do in their motion and what they do in their physio, which you heard today, and what they've learned from all of you to be great at what they do, and, you know, going back to Carl in the video, all the stuff that they said, but they all got a bunch of grind in them, and they all grind it out, and I love the grinder now. I don't think I was ever going to love the Zach Johnson type player, but you realize that player that grinds it out is really impressive. And then what's going on with the top 10 players in the world is they have all the physical tools, and they don't give up, and they don't quit, and they're really good at turning 70 into 66 or 74 into 70, and they don't get down on themselves the way that I used to see it done before, and they're better than that than they've ever been. And you do that really, really well watching you play. Like, you get into it and realize that you're going to make a score, and you're going to hit shots, and you're going to play golf.
And I'm going to hit a lot of bad shots, but it's okay.
Yeah, and they all hit bad
And
shots.
understand that fact.
They all hit bad shots, yeah, and the proximity, I think there's maybe before you saw it, but Boyd's proximity for the whole stuff was pretty interesting at how far that is. That's your big girlfriend?
Do you want to see my new speed?
Yeah, yeah.
No, seriously.
You got a bigger,
I've been working so hard.
You got a bigger, faster girlfriend?
Do you want the 3-wood first or the driver?
Have you been going to the gym?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Yeah, no. Freddie and I are kind of similar in the you can't pull fat thing. Yeah, I've tried many times. I've tried actually 4 times, and every time I go do it, I don't play that great.
Okay. All right. Do you?
So, yeah. So I've actually played the best golf at my fattest self, which is it is what it is.
Do you?
My wife loves it.
I know the recipe.
My girlfriends, you know, they don't like it, but
you want to hit the
you tell me. Do you want? Come on. Can I need the pressure because, guys, honestly, I'm putting this 3-wood in and this driver in to Cabo in about a week and a half, with never hitting them in front of anybody. So if you guys don't mind, I'm at 2 3-woods and a couple drivers. You guys cool with that?
Yeah, and as you do that, we're going to say one thing that we would do. We're going to say one thing that we would do. If we've seen a golf course before, our players have seen, and they're going to play in a tournament, I like to give them 1 or 2 things, not 100 things about the course. And he's going to go down and play on the Pacific side of Cabo at Diamante, and the wind blows off the Pacific Ocean. It's different than the Cape side. In every hole, you're playing into a crosswind that has a left wind, or you're playing into a crosswind that has a right wind.
So it's all crosswinds? That's
yeah,
good.
not
good.
a lot of downwind shots. So
Love
if you
it.
pictured that, it would be similar to playing up in PV or at Pelican Hills when you're playing into those crosswinds. So that's the way I look at it.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And now we actually have a par 4 here, number 1 here at Virginia, and I'm hitting shots that would actually work here on this hole.
That sounded very CBS right there.
So I just went to Qatar, Qatar. I don't know how to say it yet, but I'm working on it because I was told 18 different ways, okay? So the pool guy told me Qatar, and then...
That's Qatar.
Qatar.
Yeah. I think it's Qatar, but right?
Trust
Anyways,
me.
if you're on the 405 freeway,
Yeah.
it's not doesn't go through Qatar.
It's been crazy, but... all right, let's see here. This is the new 3-wood. How's it work under pressure?
Nice.
Okay, but 2 of them.
You gonna hit the same shot?
Yeah, that was the first date, so
All right.
we got to try the second date here, sorry. All right. That ball flight was a little high.
All right.
So that's more the trajectory I'm looking for off the tee, which is going to be more penetrating and go through that wind we're talking about in Cabo. There it is.
I like it.
Okay, so both in the fairway, right?
They're great, buddy.
Tough crowd.
Yeah, they're.
Yep, sorry. That's the first time I ever hit those under pressure. Come on, guys. All right. Now,
This is a tough crowd. I've been doing this for 7 years. They haven't laughed at me once.
I know. So this is the driver that I just put in play yesterday. No, I don't have, I'm not even trying to touch Dylan's speed.
Dylan's got some launch.
Now, if I, which I saw yesterday, I'm a little bit faster. The launch is pretty good, and the spin's pretty solid. Now, my big thing with the driver is I want nothing to do with left. Nothing. I want the ball to go straight to slightly right. All right? So I'm thinking here, I'm playing this. I'm playing against number 4 in the world. I want to hit the left edge of that green side bunker and kind of cut it out to somewhere in the general area of the pin. Right? Now, I had Kyle Berkshire, the longest human being in the world, standing where that ball is about a week ago, screaming at me, telling me how fat and old I am, to try to gain speed. So I've been swinging a little harder. I gained 4 miles an hour just by being told I'm fat. So let's see. Now that's healed. Now, as you can see, it's in the fairway though. Now, that is huge. I can't explain to you guys how important that is for me to know if I don't hit it perfect, I'm going to be in the fairway. Because that gives you the utmost confidence. And confidence in golf, as you might be able to tell, is huge. Let's send this one. So that has a way higher launch than I've ever had, with a lot less spin, and pretty good distance. Jamie, what do you think?
I like it. They're all applauding too. That's really nice. Music to our ears. First tee, or excuse me, 18th tee, Cabo, 2 shots out of the lead. You can make birdie on the last hole. Things change, or you just doing what you did all week?
Tee it slightly lower.
Okay.
Not get after it as much. This is my standard, about 80% swing.
Okay.
Which is not as good as my full bore swing. So, which is interesting. So now with this driver, and this is what I kind of noticed. I was out there with my wife last night. We're trying to figure this out. When I teed it up, which is what Berkshire wanted me to do, much higher, ball slightly more forward in my stance, and actually get after it, it reacted better. So we'll see if that works. And I do that in tour events, by the way, that one.
More hit.
Yep.
I was going to say something that I thought about earlier today. Getting to spend time, and I think Brett can attest to this as well, getting to spend some time PGA and LPGA Tour now. Nobody on PGA Tour almost wants their golf ball to go to the left. They're all hitting some type of cutting shot. And there are a lot of times closed club face, blocking with their body to make the ball slide a little bit, and they're strong enough to do that. On the LPGA Tour, hardly anybody's cutting it. Carlotta maybe cuts it. A couple other players cut it, but Lilia's sitting a draw, Nellie's sitting a draw, and they're making the ball go farther. You could see her this morning. She's hitting a draw. So I think the strength and the flexibility of the woman to release the golf club and to separate their body, it's easier to hit the ball, but the ball's moving that way. And I think the guys are just so taking the right-hand side out of the golf course. And you might have heard say this before, but when I was about 25 or 26, how many Mac O'Grady disciples are there, or people that have read The Golf Machine? Go ahead and raise your hand. That number, I think people are getting older, that number is diminishing. But anyways, at that at that time, he helped me a lot and was really, really nice to me and very, very kind. And, you know, I think I couldn't be more the antithesis away from him in the way that we go about it, but I love The Golf Machine and I love reading about it. And he told me one time I was giving somebody a lesson, and he was watching, and they're swinging really pretty. Go ahead and grip your club and hold on to it. And the club out the top of the swing looked like this, and I was making the club look like that, and the ball was going perfectly straight, and they were very strong. And so when we were done, we walked away, he said, you know, you're good at getting the club where you want to go, and that guy swung really strong, but if the guy can control the ball better, go ahead and grip your club and hold on to it. If the guy can control the ball better with the club face going like that and can block it out of the way, don't change it. And someday there's going to be a guy that's 6'4", looks like he could have played center field for the Yankees. He's going to have a bowed wrist like this, and he's going to act like he doesn't care out of anything, and he's going to spin out of the way. And then he's going to win a bunch of tournaments and, you know, make a bunch of money. And he called Dustin Johnson, I think, before Dustin Johnson was born. So it's an interesting thing. You're going to probably see more people close the club and block it. And I think with the freedom and flexibilities, you're going to see more ladies hit high bomb draws. And Brett and I have got to watch Nelly a bunch stand out there and hit that driver and hit those bomb draws. And it is a beautiful, beautiful golf shot. So that's that. Off of you, Michael, but
I've got a very neutral grip because I have a bad left wrist that I had back in the day.
Yeah.
So my grip is way weaker than I would actually want it to be.
Yeah.
But I just have to have it because if I actually strengthen it, I can't play golf. So.
Will you do one last thing for us? Would you hit a couple pitches and you can kind of do whatever and just play like you and I?
Absolutely, I can. But I have a driver in my hand and
You
I
want to hit one
teed up,
more?
and I got the ball that I use when I play. So.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I got to send. You have no idea. I'm kind of excited about this driver right now.
I like it.
No pictures, please. Until tomorrow. Yeah, this gets released tomorrow, by the way. Hopefully nobody's recording that.
I'll make sure I post it on my social media.
How'd you notice that, Brad?
He's good like that. He's a smart guy.
What would you like?
I like doing this. I like doing this a lot with our kids and with everybody.
Oh, no.
Can you do me a favor? Can you hit me a pitch that doesn't get to me, that lands in front of me, really tiny and really quiet? Nice. Good. Can you do that again and pitch it over here, really tiny and really quiet? Nice. Can you do one over here? Same thing. Really tiny and really quiet over here. Good. Nice. Can you lead me like I'm on a pass pattern over here in front of me?
Do you want it?
Maybe. Don't catch a golf ball that's moving.
That was, I mean.
No, it was perfect. It was perfect. I caught it like SC on Saturday night. Sorry, Chris. Okay. Sorry about that. You can't brag about the Irish when they beat the Trojans. When can you brag?
Well, I mean, so I heard this thing the other day. It's like, you know, you got a leopard on a tree. What's the first thing it does before it's going to jump to the next branch? It looks at the branch.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that simple. It's all I've been doing is looking at you and letting it react.
Yeah, and I think that would be the biggest thing that we've done with short game, too, is like, you know, we're just standing around on the green, and Pat and X do this a lot. We just stand on the green, and they just say, where are you? And they pitch it to you and hit it, and each pitch gets a little bit better. If you were going to flop one, how would you do it?
So when I flop it, which I'm doing right there.
Quit talking about what you do and just do it.
I'm giving myself the nicest lie I possibly can.
All right.
I open up the club face, and I try to feel my right palm stay actually underneath, and then my left wrist cups under. Basically adding a little loft using the bounce.
So don't hit this one for a second. Would you hit it over this hat right here?
This is what I'm feeling.
Yeah. Would you hit it over this hat right here?
You want me to put it in the hat?
You hit it over the hat.
I want to put it in the hat. That looks
Okay.
sick.
Let's see.
No. Put it back where it was. Yeah, that one.
All right, good.
Ah, hold on. This is exciting.
That one right through here. Can Michael and I have a Michelob Ultra, Francisco or somebody, okay? And then we'll finish this thing up, okay?
How about
Oh,
questions?
sorry, Brett. Brett's like, what about me?
Any questions? I want questions.
Yeah, we'd like to ask, get some questions.
Ryan, what's up?
We're going to have a beer while we have the questions.
So what's the last thing you look at when you made that putt on the 18th hole? 'Cause that was an amazing putt that you made in that tournament. The up and down that,
So when I hit the putt,
PGA, yeah.
I thought I missed it. Thought I came up short right.
Right. But do you see the ball roll back? Like, are you seeing it track? Are you seeing the line
Cheers,
it's
brother.
on? Do you putt to the picture? I don't know. I'm just trying to get an idea.
I had the same exact routine. So one of actually my most proud moments of that was I looked back at that video, and I literally did what I do practicing by myself, which was, I'll show you. And this is something I talk about all the time. So I have the exact same routine, right? I set up to it. I look at the target, whichever it might be. So there was like almost like a ball and a half out left side, downhill left to right. So I'm looking at a ball and a half left. I aim the line on my putter out there. I take one stroke, and the second stroke, my eyes kind of come up and look at that target one more time, and I hold my position for about 2 seconds, right? Because I notice I putt a lot better when I hold on my second one, rather than just going 1, 2, and coming back. So I hold, I come back, I set, I look at the position one more time, like I said, the leopard jumping into the tree, and then I go back, and the second my left hand hits the grip, I go. Every single time. And when I look back at the video on 18, under that situation, and that crowd was insane, I did the same thing I tried to, and I practiced upon, and that's what was like really, really cool to me, and I guess that's why it went in, so it's kind of cool.
I love all the stuff that he talked about today. That was reactive in what he did, and he looks like that when we watch him play. He's like super reactive. More questions for him.
What do I practice the most? Yeah. No, so when I warm up, my warm up is my practicing, okay? The only time I ever actually practice is if I have a tour event coming up the week before, I'll get out there for about 1 to 2 hours on the back of the range at a Royal. That's what I'll do. And when I get out there, if I've got 2 hours, I'll literally spend 45 minutes with my 6-degree wedge, really working on getting the fingertips in my right hand, because under pressure, the right hand likes to get underneath and get in too much of the palm, which shuts the club face down, which then it causes me to come too much from the inside and then be too handsy. Works great on a driving range, works great with the casual round by yourself, does not work in a PGA Tour event, does not work in a big section event, does not work any other time. When you have to have a lot of hand action to the golf ball, you better be relaxed, right? I'm not relaxed in a tour event. So I've realized, and it's what I've been working on for a while now, is being way more in the fingers in the right hand. And so that allows me to not be as handsy. So I can just use my torso, my core to rotate and get rid of the face rotation, which is what you need under those circumstances. So, but when I'm out practicing, I'm literally doing this. So I set up, put in my fingers in my right hand, go back, almost pause, and then shot. I'm not thinking about a distance. I got this from Freddie Couples. I'm not thinking about a distance or anything. I'm just thinking about being relaxed, good tempo. Nothing but that. And I'll do that for 30 to 40% of the entire range session is just 6-degree wedges, tempo, relax, great grip.
What he said about Fred too, I know he feels the same way. We feel blessed to get to spend the time that we get to spend with him. And if you're getting to do what we do, me coaching and him playing for a living, and you're a Sunday morning round at Big Canyon, he's got 6 wedges, and he's like, scratching his head, and he's like, whoosh, like you see one of them, it makes you better. And they look different. They're going slower and softer and freer, and he can hit them out of every lie like that. They're fun to watch. Other questions? What do you got?
No. Yeah. Yeah, Trav, yeah, totally. I've had a couple different things. I had Kyle Berkshire screaming in my face, like I talked about how old I am. Was, I guess, the pissed off mentality. But then I've had these other things where my son has actually helped me a lot. When, like, one of the items is for me, I've had this rock for about 2 years now. I do the rock, and as soon as I got that from Berkshire way before I knew him, 2 years before I knew him, and as soon as my right foot hits, I go. That gained me 2 miles an hour. All right? When I go to the top, but I'm feeling like I'm going about 3 inches through the ceiling. But when I shrink only an inch, I gain about a mile per hour. Then there is the breathing out, breathing in. So the other thing I just learned at Pebble Beach the other day was when I took it back, I sucked in all my air, and then I let it out and gave me a mile an hour. So the cool part is, from what happened in May at the PGA, is I've had everyone and their sister reach out to me trying to gain me distance, which I really appreciate, right? And as long as I gain a mile an hour here, a mile an hour here, and whatever else, and I'm excited, because literally he had to pull the driver out of my hands right now, because I'm actually excited about hitting a driver. I haven't been excited about hitting a driver, I think, in my life. And I honestly feel that if I can, I don't know if you guys saw that ball flight, but that ball flight, for what you guys see, you guys are all your own TrackMan, flight scope, whatever it is. You guys have the eyes to see it. It's launching at 12. It's spinning at 1800. I love it. And it's moving slightly right. So those things to me is where I'm going to optimize my distance. And honestly, if I can just gain 10 to 20 yards, I'm not going to be the top 100 in the world.
That's funny. Any other questions? What you got in the back there? Nice and loud.
Cameron. I got some freaky internal brain things going on with shafts, heads, cranking them, changing lofts, lies. Like, dude, you should see me put weight on a putter. I mean, I cut it, I smash it in there, and I do, just across the board. Shafts, heads, weights, everything you can think of, I mess with, and I think I have this weird kind of cool, like, if everything else goes sideways, I could definitely do that for everybody down the road. It would make everyone a little better.
Other questions? Let's take one more question. What do you got?
So earlier on, when you picked that 7-iron up, right, you said, I'm committed, I love the 7-iron, it's going straight, it's going whatever.
So true.
It did it.
So true.
And
It pulled.
adjusting, you went to your 8-iron. Is that how you approach it when you're out there?
No, the way I'll adjust in 2 weeks is I'll grab the 7-iron in my bedroom that's sitting there right now, and I'll use it, because that just showed me, which I really appreciated, was the fact that I feel pressure having you guys all watch me. I respect everybody here. And I feel like, wow, you should hit every shot perfect, which is how you try to feel like you're playing against the best players in the world. You're playing a practice round. You're playing in the middle of a PGA Tour event. There's so much pressure. It's unbelievable, right? And so for me to see, and I've hit many clubs, I'm sure everyone here has, that are unbelievable into the net at Roger Dunn or on the driving range at your local club, and you get fit, whatever else, and then you get it, and you're like, what is this? Like, this doesn't work, especially in the club championship, or especially in the section championship, or whatever else. For me, it's all about, and as you can see with this set of garage sale gloves I got, I just know what they're going to do. I know how they're going to miss, which is the most important factor for me. Every club, if you hit them great, yeah, they go straight. But what does it do when it misses? Does it have a big left pole? How can you play golf in a tournament knowing that club could possibly go 20 yards left? You can't. Because if that happens, you're gripping on for dear life, and that ruins your whole swing.
Why wouldn't you just keep playing with the club that you made a hole-in-one with? I mean,
Have you seen it? Dude, I literally have no grooves. I've never had it regrooved in the 10 years I've had them. There's no regrooves at all. And I literally play flyers on my 9, 8, and 7-iron. I literally do. With my caddy and I were like, oh, it's the 9? Yeah, we just go, yeah. So it's pretty insane.
Okie doke. I want to, yeah.
Yeah, no.
We're gonna close it with this. First of all, for Michael, and I wanted to tell everybody this. We've now been to over 100 major championships, and this year on Sunday at the PGA, it's kind of a rainy day, and Pat got out a little bit in front of him, and there was a big bridge on the way over to the first tee. Like, you walked around the clubhouse, and you walked over a bridge and down to the first tee. And I knew that he was playing with Rory, and I think we were like 2 holes in front of him. And I heard this like roar that just was the loudest one of the week. And I go, oh, that's Rory's group. And I looked up, and Rory was on the tee already, and Michael was walking over the bridge. And when you think about that, like, of the 100 majors that I've been to, probably the most prideful that I felt, because I'm a Southern California golf pro, and he's our Southern California golf pro, was seeing our buddy in that situation with the people going crazy. And then to watch that day play out, that was super cool. Nice work.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you.
And we are super proud of you. Thank you for doing this tonight. And we'll be rooting for you in Cabo as we continue to root for everything.
Thank you.
Another thing, there's so much good energy here today about us wanting to get better at what we do. And it's the cool thing about this. And let's keep doing this, okay? Thank you for being fantastic today. Melanie, you killed it.
Thank you, Melanie.
Yeah. The speakers that are left here that stayed around to watch, thank you very much. You guys were fabulous. And then most importantly, let's keep getting better at golf, and let's keep making golf better. Proud of every one of you. Thanks for spending the day as part of our family at Virginia Country Club.
Thanks, brother.